Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Hi, everybody. I like to play a little music as people filter in. Can you hear me all right?
Good morning.
Morning, Shannon. We're listening to this song by Hermeto Pascual called Paseando pelo Jardim, which means to walk through the garden, which I thought was appropriate because it's about gardening and Hermeto is being honored this weekend because he passed away. And so I thought might as well have a little intro with some Brazilian jazz. Hi, Dan. Hi, Will. Thanks for being here.
Hey there, good to be back.
It usually takes a couple minutes or a few minutes into the hour to um, get everyone in, so we'll just wait a couple more minutes. In the meantime, feel free to change your Zoom name to your name, and if you'd like your organization and your pronouns. Hi, Norman.
Good morning.
Okay, I'm turning down the song. If you want to hear more of this out there music, I linked to it in the chat. I was tempted to play another song of his, which is actually played with bottles in a lake, which he's very famous for. Um, anyway, just a little honoring of Hermeto Pascual. Welcome, welcome, everybody. Can you see my screen all right? Yep, great. So as usual, I wanted to start with an Olelo Noe Ao, and I'll read it out loud and then explain it and how it associates with our call today. A'ohe ulu e loa'a I ka pokole o ka lo. No breadfruit can be reached when the picking stick is too short. And this can also be, I suppose, translated, if that's the right word, as a saying that there's no success without preparation. And today we are really excited to have the National Park Service Rivers and Trails Conservation Association here to help us because they are um, guiding us in our strategic planning process, which to me is very much, choosing the right size picking stick for where Hui Māla wants to go next. So today we'll start with a welcome circle. We have 17 people. I think we can go around the room for our NPS folks. We can have everyone go off mute when we do the introductions. And then we'll jump right into the project with the National Park Service. We'll introduce the project, exactly how they're supporting us, what the deliverables will be, and how we plan to work with the Hui along the way. Then we'll have an exercise and a discussion, and then we will have a good chunk of time at the end for member updates. And I know some folks here in the call have updates to provide. I've also been sent some from those who can't attend, so we'll definitely want to make time at the end to talk about those. And then we'll save the last few minutes for closing. And then, as per usual, I'm available to stay on another 30 minutes for any spillover conversation, if there is any. All right. Well, before we go around, and I'll have, and then I'll pass it over to, I guess, Alan or Meredith or Ati, whoever is going to take that on. But before I do, I just wanted to show that I've added another picture here from our last convening. We had a few folks go to the Urban Garden Center vermiculture class run by Mindy Jaffe, and it was phenomenal. I highly recommend. Very entertaining, very educational. There's even a song or two that you sing, and great for kids and adults alike. Um, and they are hosted regularly, so I definitely recommend attending if you can. All right, I'll stop sharing so we can see each other and pass it over to Meredith or Alan.
Aloha. Um, yeah, it's great to be here. I am just looking to see if Ati is on here. Oh, I don't see him. Okay. Well, we have a little bit of a team. So my name's Meredith Spiker, and I am with the National Park Service Rivers, Trails, and Conservation Assistance Program. I see some familiar faces and some people who I don't know. So I'm excited to be here. We have two other people in our team, Ati Jeffers Fabro, who hopefully will join us soon, and then Alan. Where's Alan? Ah, I see Alan on there too. Okay, and so we've got we do have a presentation, and I did and for our prompt though, just to get to know each other, we did have a I'm gonna have to remember what Ati did. He did a
Oh,
rose,
yep. He actually told me, yeah, Rose.
yeah, rose thorn and a bud. So as we go around and introduce each other, I want you guys to think about that. So the and I'm going to have to remember how he wanted it to be. So we have
I'm here.
oh,
Am I
Ati,
good?
you here.
Yeah.
Okay, I will have you lead it then.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's
I got
okay.
to figure out how to get Zoom onto the government computer. It's not letting me download the app. So anyway, so aloha mai kako, everyone. Um, yeah, we are here to try to introduce our project, and so I just wanted to come up with this little icebreaker for everyone to think about moving forward with what the exercises we got to do today. And it is called Rose, Thorn, and Bud. So I'd like everyone to, when you introduce yourself, um, think about the rose would be what brought you to Hui Māla, why you're interested in helping or getting involved. The thorn is, once you have known or been with the project or the Hui, what have been some obstacles, things that you could see change. Um, and also the bud would be what do you see in the future for Hui Mala'ai and how it can move forward. So my name is Ati Jeffers Fabro. I do work with Meredith and Alan on the National Park Service Rivers, Trails, and Conservation Assistance Program. I've been with this program for a couple of years now as an experienced worker. Why I was attracted to this project, I was attending the monthly meetings through one of our other projects, the Makalapa Park project. So some of you might be familiar with that because I've mentioned it a few times. And as I participated with the Hui, I was looking at how it's really difficult for groups like this to coalesce into decision making and all the aspirations that the Hui would like to do. So I thought I suggested to Anna if she apply for the program, and here we are. Obstacles or my thorn would be trying to reach out to all of the different types of participants, members or not, to see how we can help them and really figure out a direction, a place for this organization. And then my bud is to see some food security like everyone else, make community gardening more accessible, and just help people feed themselves. Okay, so I can popcorn it over to, I guess, Anna, you want to be next?
Sure. So, my name is Anna Mines. I'm the Community Gardens Project Manager with the City and County of Honolulu's Community Gardening Program, and also facilitating this network, Hui Māla. And the rose is I think the consistent participation of Hui Māla leadership members and others who continue to show up, even though we're still unclear about exactly what we hope to do and what we're able to provide members at this point. It's very much a learning network, very much like a peer learning space, which I think holds value. But when we ask people to show up regularly and take the time, I'm just always very happy to see people continuing to be there. And that which leads into the thorn, which is it's been a while. It's taking a lot of time out of, it's been taking since the founding of the network to really understand what we want to do and what our niche is. And um, part of that is because we're all volunteers here and have other, very time-consuming jobs. So I'm so excited with the National Park Service to kind of kick us into gear and really focus on this. The bud would be discovering what that will be for all of us, um, with, you know, input from the membership, from the leadership group and from the membership widely. I think I'm really excited to see what people are going to benefit most from with the direction of the organization. And I will pass it over to Rufino.
Hello, Kako. Rufino here with Hawaiian Council. For me, the rose is that this group acknowledges indigenous traditional ecological knowledge in food systems. The thorn is building capacity, and then the bud is to continue ITech in food systems and for more people to understand that that indigenous traditional ecological knowledge, should be a part of our food system. So mahalo for your time, and pass it over to um, Dan Dino, Trees of Honolulu.
Right on. Thank you. What attracts me to this is, as you know from the name, we care a lot about trees, and what we've discovered is people care a lot about eating food, and so the intersection of trees, food, and also how trees could actually create canopy and other plants underneath. So all is good. That's my rose. The thorn is just resources and time, to be able to dedicate. And the bud is, I really see this group as kind of like spreading. And so you can't do everything at once, but if something good happens here and then something good happens there and something good happens there, and then it just kind of takes a hold, in that organic kind of expansion, I think is super powerful. And I will toss it over to James, who looks ready to share from his car.
Yeah, I just took my seatbelt off. I realized I didn't have to have it on. Thanks very much. Okay, so my rose would be I came to Hui Māla through just my work that I was doing with Hawaii Public Health Institute, and so learned about this. And actually, Dr. Susie Mercado, who was involved in this work early on, was a former colleague of mine, and so I was very happy to have that opportunity and also have gotten some support through work that I was doing with the Hawaii Public Health Housing Authority on Honolulu. The thorn for me has been early on, I had wanted to say, well, how can we sort of use Hui Māla or, you know, empower Hui Māla to be able to bring in, be a sort of a gathering place for resources for folks who are interested in doing this stuff. But the problem was we're not quite there yet. And I think that's what this whole strategic planning thing is addressing, is trying to really get to that point where everybody agrees on sort of mission and vision and being able to do this ask, for resources and all that. The bud for me would be to see this grow to where it's really statewide, because I'm located on Molokai and each island has its own issues. But each island needs help, I think. And so see how that this effort will become bigger and help. I think there's a lot of small groups that are doing this stuff, but there is a need for coordination where I think we could bring more resources to bear. So, I think the bud is really the outcome of this strategic planning process to make Hui Māla more effective in its mission. So, and I will pass it over to I don't see because I'm only seeing myself and Dan right now. So
I can pass it for you.
yeah, I was going to suggest that. Would be
How
great.
about Kima?
Aloha, my kako. Nice to see you all here. It's been a little while since I've been able to attend, so grateful I got to come to today. So I am a urban agroecologist who's currently working with Grow Good. We're distributing 2,000 fruit trees to residents of Waimanalo and Waianae, and really just trying to support people's ability and capacity to grow their own food using agroforestry models and techniques. I love this concept, and I've been a part of this for about 2 years. And I think, just like James, you were saying, the need for there to be coordination and networking between all the amazing initiatives that are happening, especially across the state. So that's my rose and my thorn, because I started participating in this network from Kauai, and the outer island participation is something that I think is needed, and I'm excited to support that level of networking to include projects across the state. My bud is, I guess, the same as well, that I'm working on building up those networks, specifically with Kauai, where I do have contacts and relationships. So trying to get them on board. And I think, like Anna said, what's the exchange in terms of time and resources, and being able to support that development is really exciting. So I'm glad to be here today and learn from this process. So I will pass it on to Julia.
Hello, good morning. I'm so sorry. I don't have a webcam today, but it's a pleasure to be here. I just started 2 weeks ago as an extension agent at the University of Hawaii. My position is related to urban horticulture and food systems. I was working as a tropical fruit scientist at the National Tropical Botanical Garden before, more focused on breadfruit. And my studies are related to agrobiodiversity and small farmers, small communities, crops management. So what I can say for now, the roles is definitely on partnerships, like increasing the networks to promote the interest in food systems and urban food and security. On a thorn, I would say that it's kind of a little overlapping, because I'm still like learning all the possibilities about these networkings. And it's a pleasure to be here, because I bet it will help me a lot in this, to visualize the possibilities and to kind of develop the priorities. In the future, definitely this connection about groups to promote the information and to the communities about thriving on gardens, producing foods, and yeah, this more integrated work between institutions definitely, and it's my main dream, let's say like that. And I will pass to I think Norman.
All right. Good morning. Thanks for having me. Um, I as well have not been able to attend many of these meetings despite being invited to them. Jumping ahead to the Thorn, obviously, like many of you guys, our organization is very siloed. Our free time is very limited. We wear very many hats. Um, and so it's a pleasure that I'm able to be here. I was able to make time to be here today. I'm the president of the Family Education Centers of Hawaii. Our main deliverables are youth and family program, and we use our small farm and garden as our platform for learning. So my roles would be obviously inspiring the next generation of farmers, food growers, food scientists, any role that contributes towards growing food. Um, and the bud would be food security along with building and engaging community. And I will pass it along to, we heard from Alan yet?
I can go next. Yeah. Thanks, Norman. Hi, everybody. My name is Alan Cardenas. I am part of the RTCA team, and I am based out of Seattle, Washington. My roles, I'm still pretty new to this group, and working with Meredith and Ati on everything. So my roles would just be getting to know y'all and getting to know each members as we go along. Um, I would also say that I'm a little too new to have a thorn, really. It's been interesting getting to know all the things that y'all have been up to. And then my bud would have to be some of the strategic planning that we have coming up. I really like some strategic planning, and some of our activities will be focused in on that. And I just have some thoughts and some things I'd like to share from what I've already learned about some past planning efforts. And I think Alice hasn't gone.
Thank you, Alan. I was Alice that James Rarick worked with at Hawaii Public Health Institute. Our primary community garden related project is community gardens at public housing site. I think there are both roses and thorns for that project. It's also one of my biggest headache. It's the residents' conflicts. Sometimes, even though there are resources, capacities, support, because there are conflicts, some projects may not taking off or run smoothly. Um, I would say a good reason to participate in this network is meeting folks or doing different work. I wish there's a live chart of everybody's job description related to community food gardens so we can compare and just facilitate some sort of matchmaking to build capacities. And Julia, I'm pretty sure you were at Urban Garden Center the past Saturday at the second Saturday event. So it's really great to see people at different spaces advocating for this work. Mahalo for facilitating this process. And I will kick it off to Jason.
In the HR. Good morning, everybody. Jason with the city. Sorry, so loud. The city and county of Honolulu. Food systems planner at the resiliency office. I think my role is that this is a great space with so many people from different backgrounds and organizations. A lot of key players, I think, in the community garden and just growing space. I think a thorn is just general capacity and the lack of resources and I think funding around now for Hui Māla. And then I think the bud going forward is like for me, like, and the promise is like how can we help fulfill our kind of like the vision of Hui Māla being like a practical support network where we can, that's very action oriented and just get stuff done because this is so wanted and needed in the community. I will pass it to Shannon.
Thanks, Jason. Hi, everyone. I'm Shannon Siaka from Department of Health. I'd say my rose has been to see and hear everything that's going on, different projects, Anna's mapping projects, the different gardening projects happening statewide. It's all awesome and interesting to hear. And I think for me, maybe the thorn is how it plays into or how it could or potentially tie into early childhood. And that's not always easy. But that's where my subject area is and my concern and who I'm advocating for. But I guess also the but is that it all can and it can all everything can be worked out and it just takes some mulling and um, community building and relationship building with each other and just talking things through and working it out. I will pass it to Melody.
Aloha, sorry. I'm happy to be here today. I'm with Ho'ola'aina Pili Pili. We are an accessible school and community garden located in Manoa at the University of Hawaii campus. And I'd say my bud is, or sorry, I forgot all the terms, but the positive has been it's really awesome to connect with all of these different Māla organizations and also from other islands as well, and have the opportunity to learn from each other and from the different educational webinars that we've had as well. And also it was great that we were able to host the Hui Māla group at our Māla site as part of my research study on inclusive gardens for people with dementia. And my bud is that coming up this fall semester, we are starting our first Memory Cafe program where we will have monthly events for people with memory loss and their caregivers at our Māla site. And the challenge with that, I guess, in general, is even though there's a lot of interest in this topic, I think we're still slow on recruiting participants. And it could be because of our time of day, our challenge with parking, or since it's a pilot project and it's so new, we just have to kind of build that interest. But we did have 13 student volunteers sign up to support the program, which is exciting as well. And I will pass it to, did Will go?
Aloha, everyone. My name is Will Sands. I am the farm manager with Grow Some Good on Maui. We are developing a 5-acre community agroforest in central Maui. We're kind of halfway through the process right now. The rose for me is that there are so many parallel efforts happening kind of around the state right now. It's very inspiring. Like many other people have said before, the thorn for me is resourcing, and particularly the uncertainty of resources and federal resources in particular. And the bud is that we have this collaboration forming, even though I haven't been able to make a lot of the meetings. Having so many people at the table is sure to generate momentum. Thank you. And I'll pass it to Anya.
Hello, everyone. I'm Anya. I participate in a community garden in Mililani and have some corn growing right now, so that's exciting. I've got the ears on. The rose has been like what brought me here is just heard about the Hui from participating in the community garden and just very personally interested in seeing more sustainability and food grown here. So just learning about all the different organizations who are working on these efforts has been inspiring. And I think the thorn is hearing about how there are so many different groups, nonprofits, government entities, individuals, schools who they kind of have these similar goals and interests, but all of the obstacles that come up in terms of being able to work together effectively and just having roadblocks, even within, groups that have similar interests, just the roadblocks that happen when they aren't able to work together for whatever reason. The bud would be just continually seeing all of the passion that people have for for food sustainability, and knowing that it's such a critical issue, that just seeing the progress about being able to work together and really solve some issues. So thanks, everyone.
Why don't we pass it to well, Meredith.
All right. Well, thank you. So I'm Meredith, and let's see. So my rose is it's just so very exciting to be in everyone's presence. I really admire what everyone does, and so and I've been kind of diving in to really learn about all the partners and about the organization and the Hui and just how you all work. And so the more I learn, the more excited I get. So I think that's my rose, is just being able to dive in and learn about what everyone does and where those connections are. Um, the thorn is just that probably because there's so many people doing and organizations doing so much, and there's a statewide desire, and then I think also really bringing in the traditional ecological knowledge and the Hawaiian perspective. So just how to pull it all together. So that's the fun challenge. And then the bud is just seeing where it's going to go. I'm excited. I think we have a pretty good team to help support you guys, and I'm really excited about where this bud is. The bud is going to keep going, and it's going to turn into an even better rose. So anyways, I'm excited about that. And I wasn't sure if everyone, did we get everyone, or are there still
Still a few.
a few?
Put 3 names
Dorothy?
in the chat.
Tina. I thought Tina Lau, if you can hear me. There we
Hi.
go.
Yes, I can hear you. Sorry, I came in late, so I kind of heard from Meredith what's going on, but I'll just say my name is Tina Lau. I work with the Master Gardening Program on Oahu, and we train volunteers to go out and spread the word about gardening to the community. Is that good?
Yeah, we were just looking at we have the exercise with rose, thorn, and bud. So rose being what attracted you to come visit the Hui or be part of the Hui. Thorn is just something that it can either be a frustration or something that is a thorn on your side. And then bud is what you hope to see when you come out of this strategic planning and working together, like a couple years down the road. What do you see?
Okay, I'm not going to really address all of that. I'm just going to say that I'm attracted to this program because I want to work with the community gardens. I would like to spread our education to a much broader audience. Right now, we focus mostly at the Urban Garden Center, where my office is, but I need to be island wide. So being with the partners helps us to do that.
Great.
And down the line, I hope that I can partner with more people. We can, again, spread our, gardening knowledge more widely across the island. Thank you.
We have 2 people left. Salthi, are you here? Yeah, great.
Hi, good morning, everyone. I've been away from the group for quite a while after I took my sabbatical, and now I'm back. And I just wanted to stop by and see what everyone is doing. So I'm at the UH Manoa. I used to lead the food system working group here in CTOR before. I'm not sure if you've seen the flyer went around about our forums. We put together a few speakers. Yeah, it was, and then since I now changed to more research based, I only have 10% of my extension. So I use the 10% of my time to run a home garden network That's a small little program I've been running and mainly supported by our student intern in the department. I'm in the Department of Family Consumer Sciences in CTOR, the College of Tropical Agriculture and Human Resilience, and been partnering with Norm and Tansy here, our partner in crime, in different events in the community, from like a Valentine flower arrangement. We partner with Mental Health Kakua during a Valentine's Day, Thanksgiving sometime. People coming into flower arrangement workshop can make one for themselves, one they can donate to the Mental Health Kakua as a little, gift during a special day. We celebrate Earth Day event, like some, major events throughout the semester. We both have student intern from the department, 1 to 2 every semester. So the downside is that sometimes it's just we don't have the intern, so that the thorn for us that and since I only have 10% of community engagement, the project is tough to take it to the full speed. And so happy to be here to learn, what everyone is doing here. Could open up for potential future collaboration, and then I will share with you my Home Garden Network website in chat, and that's it from me. And good to see everyone. And I'll pass the ball to the last person here, Ida.
Yes, good morning. My name is Ida Stebbins. I have a garden plot at Dole Community Garden, and I'm here to learn. So thank you for the invitation, Anna.
Great. Thank you, Ida. I think that's everybody.
Looks like we got everybody. Yeah, and thank you everyone for your answers, and it's going to help us move into our next exercises now. I think Meredith is going to do some of her or introduce who we are and the National Park Service. And is that correct, Meredith? Are you next?
Yes.
Okay, so she's going to take over. I think she has a slideshow.
Can you all see my slide?
Yes.
Oh, it's working. Yes. Okay. I thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time. I feel like we got a little peek into everyone's work window a little bit. I'm going to try and move through this quickly just because of time. But at any time, if you have questions, please feel free to raise your hand or just speak out and ask that question, and we can address it. So I am going to go over real quick a little bit about the National Park Service, RTCA, if I can figure out how to get to the next screen. Yikes. Okay. Sorry. There we go. Hit the space bar. Okay, just real quick. I know everyone knows a little bit about the National Park Service, but in these times, I just want to bring us back to what our mission is and what we do. So the National Park Service preserves unimpaired the natural and cultural resources and values of the national park system for the enjoyment, education, and inspiration of this and future generations. The Park Service cooperates with partners to extend the benefits of natural and cultural resource conservation and outdoor recreation throughout the nation and world. And I just wanted to mention that because we at RTCA, Rivers, Trails, and Conservation Assistance, we are part of the National Park Service. And really, we do try and bring that mission to communities. And the way we work is a bit different, though, than a typical federal agency. So we really work with community groups. You don't even have to be an official nonprofit. You can be a nonprofit. We also work with local, state, tribal, and federal government agencies. And we really work with them on community-led natural resource conservation and outdoor recreation projects, so across the nation. So I think the one part that's really important in there is community-led. We really go where we are invited. We have an application process, but one of our strong components of that is being invited in and being asked to be a part to help a project become successful. So real quick, our impact over the nation, we've assisted over 6,000 communities. So everything from real rural places to cities. So real dense to not so dense. And we've helped local partners conserve more than 19,000 miles of river corridor, develop nearly 32,000 miles of trail, and protect almost 1 million acres of parkland, wildlife habitat, and open space. So some of the statistics that we have, and that really our projects provide an estimated 60 million residents with local access to parks and outdoor recreation every day. So again, it's really focused on the local level. So really, and the way we do our work is a bit different also. So again, we work by local invitation only. Oftentimes it's very collaborative in nature. We really strive to have long, tangible outcomes. Public engagement and inclusion is really important in what we do. And with that being said, every project is really tailored to meet the needs of our project partners. So we don't have one way that we do things. We accept that the one way we do things is work with you to develop those unique projects, the unique products, and just the approach so that it works with you guys. And then the areas in which we work, really focusing on conserving natural lands, rivers, watersheds. We helping to build healthy communities through outdoor recreation, engaging youth in both stewardship and outdoor recreation. And one of the things right here, strengthening the organizational capacity of project partners. So we really want to come in and help address a need. And the hope is that by the time we leave, you guys are better off than when we started. So what we heard from you guys as far as the requests that we got in the application was to look at a strategic plan. And here we're thinking a 3-year strategic plan, but I'm just putting that out there that we haven't confirmed the number of years, but that is what we were thinking. So if you have a different idea, please let us know. Then also really focusing on the governance structure and organizational planning. So what the structure looks like. How do you get to a statewide organization? What are your values, your vision, your mission? How does the leadership team function? How does the larger group function? So really getting through all of that. And then the final request was looking at some evaluations, both of community gardens, of the Hui, of organizations. And so that's a lot, right? So what we're kind of prioritizing is the governance structure and the strategic planning to get through first, because that's really the structure you need to get to those implementation steps. So I wanted to put this out there as well to everyone to kind of give you an idea of how we're hoping to work. And you can feel free to ask questions about this, but so I'm going to start here at this green little circle. We've got a kind of a circular motion that we're working with. So as we develop components of our strategic plan, we really are working with the leadership team to introduce that theme. So say it's something like, what is your vision? What's the vision and what are the values of Hui Māla? We're working first with the leadership team and getting and also, like at this meeting, the work that we're doing, we're going to have a couple of questions. We are working to try and get some input from the full team over these particular subject matters. Then we're going to be going back to the leadership team because they meet bi-weekly to develop these draft concepts. So then our TCA, our team ourselves, will then get things on paper and develop things, and then go back to the leadership team. for more edits. We'll develop that. We'll get approval. We'll bring it back to the larger group, and then finally we'll kind of finalize it. And so as we're doing that, I'm going to just show you, I've got kind of a calendar that looks at, okay, well, how are we going to accomplish all of these things? So we don't need to, the details, and I apologize, this is very small probably on your screens, but this is really to give you an idea, really to go through the strategic planning process to get a real good strategic plan that everyone has buy-in in and is in agreement. And with the governance structure, we're really anticipating that it's going to take a full year to get through that. So I wanted to present that so that people kind of understood that with the approach we're taking right now, that's how long it would take. We're addressing it at these biweekly meetings, coming to the monthly meetings, not taking all of your time at the monthly meetings, but trying to get some feedback and some agreement to make sure that we are on the right path. And so that first year is really going to be focused on that. And then hopefully we can meet those deadlines and have something within a year. And then we'll be looking at the evaluations and what needs to happen after that. So it's really tackling those first two items. And so really what we're looking at is these are the end products that we're hoping for. Strategic plan, and I put a 3-year strategic plan. Again, that's not necessarily the final decision from everyone, but that's what I've proposed, or we've proposed a governance structure and bylaws. And then in the future, we could look at the evaluations as a next step. Any immediate questions or concerns?
I have a quick comment.
Yeah.
That, it was a thorn that someone brought up that the federal assistance is wavering in this time. So this is a federal support, and one of the reasons we might not know exactly what the value, the future deliverables would be is because we don't know how long we'll get to have this team working with us. So far, so good, but there's always that possibility of something terrible happening. Right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
just forewarning, I guess. And I wanted to mention that the leadership team, for those who are not aware, we have a handful of people who meet on a biweekly basis, and we discuss, how to design the agenda, what are we going to do for the in-person versus the online. It's also been a lot of it's been a lot of strategic planning stuff that kind of as it arises over the last couple of years. But we've also reached out. We'd love to expand those who want to attend the leadership group. If anyone is interested in taking on more of a leadership role with the Hui, it is an open invitation. Yeah, just throwing that out there.
Thank you. Yeah. And I would say too, if anyone has, maybe you don't want to go to the level of leadership team, but you have some strong opinions about certain components of, say, the governance structure or certain components of the strategic plan, please reach out. We're available, and we can answer questions. We can integrate things. We can bring you on to to sessions. So if you do have an interest, please feel like that you can do that. And yeah, right now we are moving ahead as we normally would. And we know these aren't really quite normal times. So we hope that everything will move forward. We are about to find out, we do have the upcoming budget, so that could, if we have a government shutdown, that could create some hiccups, but that's we're trying to be optimistic and move forward as we would normally move forward. So any other questions or concerns?
I just had a comment, and this is James, and I like the idea of having the leadership sort of formulated and then bring it back to the wider community. Again, kind of speaking on behalf of more of a neighbor island perspective outside of Oahu, you know, it would be really nice to, if we could ensure, that the neighbor islands do have representation in the process. Um, I don't know about having to be on the leadership team, but I will say I'm really happy to see Soti is on the call, because organizations like CTAR, here on Molokai, I've gotten a lot of support from CTAR. They provide a lot of trainings. But I think it's a good point also that CTAR is they're geared towards really helping farmers, and maybe that's kind of why Soti's project has been reduced to 10% as far as home food gardens, but they're a huge resource. And so that's another way of thinking about who should be involved on the ground floor, because I think understanding, exactly how those resources fit into Hui Māla's, mission would be good. And it's not always that straightforward, but certainly on the neighbor islands, like if we could have CTAR maybe there, some representation to be able to, note what they're, how can they support this? Same thing with the master gardeners. I know there's master gardeners on Oahu. I'm not sure about the neighbor islands. Some of those groups that could provide a lot of support, but does their mission really align, or where's the differences or things that we'd have to change? Yeah.
Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, I just wanted to share, first of all, a plug for RTCA. We had a project in Kaimuki and Meredith. Was great help. I'll actually drop in the chat our kind of lessons learned from that. It wasn't a strategic planning process. It was more the community work that RTCA does a really just super job at, and can't say enough about what hope I have for their involvement here, because I think I kind of plug in and out into this group, and I think that's a challenge for any organization. So, someone comes, if there's 12 meetings a year and they attend 3 of them and they read some emails, it's not like it's hard. So I don't know, Meredith, if you and the RTCA team have experience working with a group like that. Like, you have the core, the leadership group. And by the way, Anna, if you could put the names of the organizations of the leadership group in the chat, I don't even know who they are. And that's indicative of where we're at, which is, I salute those people, but I don't know those people. And I think that would be super, super helpful to know. So that's first comment is leadership team, mahalo, and you're going to be key, because speaking certainly for myself, I kind of plug in and out as can, and that's not great. But I think that's reality. So my appeal here for the RTCA team is design a structure that allows for that reality. This group has like an email list of about 50 people on it, and there's like maybe 15 or 20 of us on this call. So if I would be really draconian, like, okay, the deadline is this date for input on this section and really keep driving it and creating not necessarily urgency, but creating the sense of momentum, feed him now, because what you don't want to do is and I couldn't see all the timeline there, but you get to a year from now and someone says, well, I wasn't involved, I don't approve of this. That's not where we need to be. We want to be able to plug in along the way. And I love the inclusiveness that Anna and others what you do, because myself, I'm not penalized for being how should I say, less than full participant. And I appreciate that reality. But I think we need to really make it clear, like, speak, get involved. Don't complain 6 or 9 or 12 months down the road that your voice wasn't heard. That's on you. That's not on the process. So enough said, but again, nothing but praise for RTCA. I am going to drop this link in the chat. again, I don't think it's informative to the strategic planning process, but it might give others who aren't aware of their value of how RTCA works with community.
Thanks, Dan.
We actually have over 100 people on the list.
Woo.
And so there's something missing for sure in the
Yeah, there we go.
But Anna, I don't think that's something to get depressed about. I think it's something to acknowledge and figure it out. Like,
Yeah.
wow, 100 people care enough to be bystanders. That's okay. That's better than having 20 people. But it's a question of how do you make it compelling for them to be a part of it?
Yeah. Great. We did have another exercise, Alan. All right. It is a Menti. I'll let you take the lead.
All right. I think I'm sharing the wrong screen right now. So you all are about to see my screen, and in the corner of that is going to be a QR code. That QR code is going to take you to an interactive activity, so you all don't have to just listen to us talk the whole time. But just to confirm, are you seeing what looks like a slide that says Hui Māla strategic planning input?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So, as you all you can use your phone. You don't need to make an account, and if you don't want to use this QR code, feel free to add your answers to the chat, and I can always add them in for you. But what we want to do today is I think we will likely use that model where the planning team or the leadership team will develop a lot of these materials, and then we'll take it back to the larger team to provide some input. However, we wanted to make sure that you all had the opportunity to provide input up front. From what I've heard so far, it seems like we have attempted some strategic planning elements in the past, but we've gotten stuck for one reason or another. I know strategic planning can be scary, or we might not even know what it is, and all of that is okay. So today we're going to go through 3 to 4 short questions, and we're going to generate some ideas generate some ideas that will inform our strategic plan. They might not look like it up front, but trust me, there is a method to the madness.
Alan, can I interrupt you really quickly? We are
Please.
running a little bit behind schedule, and I really want to make sure we have time at the end to do the membership updates. And I think if we have at least 15, but ideally 20 minutes at the end, that would be great. So maybe we only have about 15 minutes of this. Is that possible?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Anyone need help getting into this Mentimeter, or you can either use the QR code or use the website I put in the chat. All right, I'm not hearing anything, so please speak up if you do. We're going to go through 3 questions very quickly. The first one is, what is the Hui and what does the Hui do and why? This is supposed to be answered from your perspective for trying to understand what it is you all do. As you type in your answers, it'll be anonymous. Those answers will pop up, and it's going to create a word cloud. Words that appear frequently or often will be larger and more visible. So we're going to see immediately what bubbles up to the top in importance for this group. So we're seeing some things already. Network convener, network is coming up a lot. Bring people together, opportunities, fundraising, facilitating discussion. My eyes are bouncing around the whole screen.
Resources.
Going to give it maybe about another 30 seconds or so for folks to enter in their answers. This is going to help us inform what it is that you all do. And I know there might be different ideas about what you do or what we should be doing, but this is going to help give us some weight to those opinions, at least in terms of frequency. I see networking in the chat. Right. It's telling me that 14 of the 20 people have responded. 30 more seconds and then we'll move on. Sharing resources, facilitate discussion, food gardening, network, collaborate, and share knowledge seem to be some of the most prominent themes. We know that because those are the largest words on the screen. All right, we're going to move on to the next one. I believe you should be able to go back and still add your response if needed. Same deal, just new question. What does success look like if the Hui were to accomplish its goals? Now, I understand we have not established goals or we don't have agreed upon goals, but again, this is from your perspective. What does success look like for the Hui if the Hui were to achieve all of its goals? Food security, policy development. Community engagement. Sustainable agriculture, healthy communities. Starting to see some themes here. Connection, green communities. Policies is coming up again. More community food gardens. And I promise this isn't just a fun, pretty exercise. We are collecting these responses in the back, so we will have them when we start actually writing that strategic plan. All right, food security and community engagement and connection seem to be the three things that are coming up the most in this group. 30 more seconds and we'll go on to one more version of this exercise. 14 of 20. 1,000 more food gardens. I like the metric. In the chat, I see increase success and engagement in food gardens at the household level. All right, I'm about to move on to our last question. Feel free to keep on adding in. Why are you a part of this, Hui, and why is this work important? Again, this is from your perspective on why this work is important. Some of us are here to learn. Food is life. We're here to feed our community. Learning just got bigger. Network, social justice. Network is coming up again. Food sovereignty and learn is bubbling up to the top. Social justice. Uplifting communities. Lots of community food access. People want to garden. Policy development here is here again. Land back. Get input on our projects. All right. I'm going to wrap this last one up here in about another 30 seconds. I see increased food security in Hawaii in the chat. Um, I don't want to keep this to be the wizard behind the curtain type exercise, but a lot of what these three exercises are doing are helping informing our strategic plan. I'm gonna just jump back to the first one real quick. What does the Hui do and why this is going to help inform our mission and why are we here? What is the purpose of this group? We all might have a slightly different conception, but getting some agreed upon language can help us be more effective. What does success look like if the we or accomplish all the goals? This is your long-term vision. What is the world that you're actually looking toward? And then wrong way. And then for this, why are you part of this we and why is this work important? This is going to help establish your values. If you notice, there's a lot more small words here and the fewer large words in this one. This is to be expected. Our values are going to be, they're going to range and be diverse, and we want to find where we have overlap as individuals so we can make a more effective working group together. So mission, vision, values is what is this? This is helping us inform, which are good things that we need to hear from the larger group. Last question. We don't need to do this. Anna, I will ask you if it's helpful if you want to move on. But this is not going to be a word cloud. It would just add in things that you want to see in the strategic plan. So what are ideas or concepts should we include in the strategic plan? So that might be we need to include goals. Those are almost likely for sure going to be there. We need to include a 7-year plan. We need to include X, Y, and Z. Anything that you need to see in there.
Yeah, let's do this. It's interesting.
Yeah, and this one will just see your answers. It won't be a cloud. It's going to be more of a list. And this is my last question. Funding sources. Succession planning, food security policy, ways to support outer island efforts, social media, right? Lots of things that can go into a strategic plan. Now, I can't guarantee that all of these will make a strategic plan, or we might even find a better home for them somewhere else. We are working on a couple of products after all, but these are definitely going to help guide our work. Less imported food, governance, bylaws, 5-year goals, advocacy guidelines, goals for each year. In the chat, food sovereignty, food security, and reduce food-related illness. I'm going to take a picture of these so I can add them in. Leadership development. Focus group interview, desired outcomes, defined deliverables. All right, typically I would want to discuss this a little bit, but I want to be cognizant of time. Thank you all so much. This is going to help us, even if we aren't able to talk about it. And please keep in mind, this is not the final time you're going to be able to give input on all of this. So thank you so much. Back to you, Anna.
Thank you, Alan. Yeah, awesome. If you're like me and you thought you could submit multiple responses, feel free to add more to the chat. Um, I'm sure that'll be recorded. So I will share my screen again. Okay. All right, time for member updates. And I wanted to start with Norman. I created a slide for you if that's helpful, but I could also make you co-host if you want to share anything.
No, just let me go unmuted here. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you giving me the chance to speak here. Again, my name is Norman. I am president of the Family Education Centers of Hawaii. We are a small nonprofit, been operating in Honolulu for about 15 years. And we've been fortunate to operate on a small UH extension site called Kale Tuahine. It's in Manoa, directly across the street from Longstrugs. And we've recently gotten word that we will soon be displaced. It's a CTAR property. They've received an infusion of funds from the legislature, and they're going to move forward with a big capital improvement project that'll utilize the current space that we use for our family gardens, our CSA gardens, our student learning gardens, etc. There hasn't been a significant public release, so there's not much information about the project that they're moving forward with, but it'll affect the entire area there. So we've been given until the end of October to find a new program site. Again, I'd reached out to Anna earlier this month and kind of wanted to put it on the plate of our network here. Some of us I have been in touch with. Melody, we've checked out their dementia gardens. We've visited a few elementary schools. We've previewed a few other community sites. And we've got to make a decision here soon so we can start moving things. We are big time collaborators, as Sothi had mentioned. I collaborate with his organization usually 3 to 4 times a year on events that serve maybe 100, 150 people, sometimes 200 people. I'm incentivized by my funder, which is the Department of Health, to not only host our programs, but to go out and engage the community. I do presentations at elementary schools, youth groups, etc. So I just kind of wanted to put this on the plate of our network here, and kind of request any leads, any inquiries, any potential landing sites that you might think would be a potential good home for a small program like us. I can add, there's my contact information there. We are not losing our funding. We're just losing our little program site in Manoa. So through this avenue, and I've got a few others that I'm hoping will be fruitful, would like to identify some new program sites and move forward with a decision here shortly. If anybody has any questions for me, you can reach out via email. That's my cell phone number there. Or we can kind of have a small discussion here depending on our time allotment.
I have a quick question.
Absolutely.
If you don't find something by the end of October, are you still able to bridge the work you're doing so that if there is a gap between the time you have to move out and the time you get to move in, are you able to store things somewhere or keep the work going in some other way?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had minor setbacks in the past before, for example, COVID, right? So we're, kind of juggling funding that requires deliverables, but with federal mandates that, won't allow you to be in a group larger than four. So we've had to navigate similar issues. Yes, I have a place that we can store things. Ideally, what we'd like to do is move our entire operation into a new area, and keep it going, and keep it there permanently. If the nonprofit for whatever reason loses its funding in the future, or something happens to me, like I'm not trying to bounce around. So I mean, for the right person, this is the potential to have an amazing farm operation and family program be brought onto your site. But yes, I do have somewhere I can store things. We have put a lot of thought into this process on, if this, then what. But ideally, we'd like to spend the entire month of October moving things so there's not this significant rush or, a lot of stress brought into this, because it is just a transition. We are still going to be operating in the Honolulu community. I'm still going to be here. It's just a change of face. It's just a change of program site. Ideally, we'd like to stay in Manoa, but we are open.
Well, I guess we'll hope that that simmers and ideas emerge and that you're able to find a solution in good time. But if anyone has any other questions, the contact info is there.
Thank you very much for the time to speak, Anna.
Of
And thank you
course.
very much for everybody for entertaining me.
I wanted to also share out this opportunity for those on Oahu. The city and county is in a charter amendment year, and so this is actually a 1 in 10 year activity. This happened 10 years ago, and at that time, some pretty big change happened in the charter. I think that's why the Resilience Office and the Office of Economic Revitalization exists, is because of proposals for how to change the Honolulu City Charter. So that is in the works right now. You can submit ideas through November 7th can come on behalf of an organization. It can come on behalf of an individual. We could consider Hui Māla submitting an idea if that's of interest. And yes, we're really excited because the community engagement process is even though it's kind of a short process, we have really good people helping to get the ideas in and into the commission. So your ideas will be heard. Not that I'm part of that process at all, but I'm just excited about it. So if there's anything in there about food gardens or public lands or food production, maybe there's opportunity. And then I also, Anna Ezzi, who works with the County of Hawaii, asked that I share out this opportunity. It's a community food security grant as part of the County of Hawaii's Improving Community Food Security Program, administered by the Food Basket. It's a $500,000 total is available, and they have their RFA online. They have about a month to submit applications. So but all of this will be in our resources. I share the slides and the videos on our website, so you can always come and find this later. But I don't know if it's only for Hawaii Island. Yeah, better. Let's see. It's probably for Hawaii Island. Yeah, organizations. So I'll make sure to get the word out in a follow-up email. And then I that's it for updates that I have. Are there any other updates here in the room that you want to go off mute and share? Um, that'd be great. And then we can wrap up with a little bit of what's next um, for the strategic planning and for the Hui in general. Shannon?
Hi, sure. I'll go really quick. So the Ono for Hawaii map is live now. I'll put into the chat the resource. You have to scroll down a little bit to get to it, and then you just click the view the Ono for Hawaii map here, and it leads you to the map itself, which includes all of the family, the early child care providers statewide, and if they're CACFP providers, the food hubs statewide, local farmers markets statewide, and then ECE-friendly farms and gardens statewide. It's not all of the farms and gardens, but just the ones that we've communicated with and that they do accept preschool age field trips to their farm. Eventually, this map will grow out to encompass also K through 12 schools, and then also showing the farmers that can do K through 12 work. But yep, it just started. It's gonna be growing. It's always updated, trying to keep it forever updated and current. So if there's any updates, please let me know. I can put my email in the chat also. Thanks, Anna.
It's really exciting. I'm excited to go look through that map and see what we might be missing in our own food gardens geospatial mapping project. And it's also inspiration for, getting something out there that is ready and usable and also able to be built upon and modified over time. But just getting it out there is the goal. Any other updates?
I gotta know there's something I can add. And I'll send you the flyer once we publish it so you can share it with the group here. But we are going to have a daikon pickling workshop next Thursday if anybody's interested. 10 to 11:30 at Hale Tuahine. So you get to pick your own daikons from the garden and we'll show you how to pickle them. And that'll be in collaboration with the UH Master Gardeners. So, mainly the 2018 graduating class.
Awesome. Yeah, please send me the flyer and I can add that in our follow-up email.
Will do.
Okay, so if there are no other updates, I see from Melody that they have your memory cafe. Yeah, I'll put that in there as well. Um, you said your registration numbers aren't as high as you want them to be yet, Melody?
Yes, we have our first event on September 25th. So we're still open for that date. And then we'll be having them once a month, which we have a flyer and our dates on the website in the chat.
So the next convening will be on Zoom sometime in mid to late October. The agenda and focus of that is still to be determined. Hoping to get at some point, to James' question earlier about what kind of Master Gardener support there is for for neighbor islands and for Molokai, well, maybe we can get the Master Garden coordinators to present at some point, either in the next convening or the one after. And we also, of course, will be continuing on the strategic planning and doing as our RTCA folks have mentioned about going with the leadership group and then bringing it back to the main call in this sort of circular review process. But since we still have a few minutes at the end, I can give it back to Alan and Meredith, Ati, to share a little bit, maybe the next steps, and then anything else you wanted to capture before we close.
Okay, sorry about that. Sometimes it takes me a while to get unmuted. Um, Alan, is there another exercise that we might want to do, or should we just open it up to the questions and
Yeah, no,
discussion?
I didn't have anything formal, but I would love to hear any questions that you all have from the activity that we just did about strategic planning or just the process in general. Unless you have something more specific, Meredith.
Yeah. Does anyone? Yeah, go ahead, Anya.
If there's a way to share that widely with everyone in the Hui Māla network, that kind of website that we went through where you submit your ideas and it goes into the word cloud. If there's a way to invite everyone to participate in that, where they can just get an email and do it on their own time, people who are not able to be here today.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I was hearing representation from other islands, and I know that there is a nice group today because we did have, but invitation to join the leadership team to represent your county would be awesome. We do know that every county is different. We may have the same needs, but the way things work are different. So that would be really helpful for us as a team to try to create a statewide network. And yeah, and if it's open to leadership, joining the leadership team for this particular project, if that's an open invitation, I guess it should come from you guys.
It is an open invitation, and feel free to email me directly if you want to be involved. And the participation at this point is every other Thursday, starting this, not starting, but this Thursday included, from 1:30 to 3 p.m. And if that's not something you're able to attend every time, it's okay. You can still be involved, and we can work out an arrangement that makes everyone, that works for everybody. We just want to
Yeah,
get as many.
and Anna, in that vein, when you send out the notes to the 100, I'm sorry, I only said 50 before. It would help to reinforce that, and I would put the leadership team's names, organizations, and particularly if there's a hole, like we would love to have someone from Maui County, or I see Hawaii counties on here, but I don't know where the blind spots are. And that makes it easier for people to kind of pitch. So help us help the leadership team.
Okay, I can do that.
And my cautionary note is don't get the leadership team too big. I love the openness, but at some point, and I'm sure the RTCA people could comment on that, there is an optimal size.
There is, and I have been, the work so far has been to actually contact people directly one-on-one saying, hey, we
Yeah,
think you'd be a
yeah,
good
that's the
fit.
best recruitment.
And now we're at the point where like, well, let's see. Maybe we are missing people because we're not thinking of those to call. But yes, that's good advice. And the list that I put in the chat earlier, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is 10, which is a pretty good size, but I would say the actual attendance is sometimes half that on a regular basis. But that's good advice. I will do that in the email.
Yeah, that's good. Any other thoughts or questions? Um,
If not, we can end a few minutes early.
we could
I'll
always
be
end.
here. I'll stay on the Zoom. I won't close it out, but then folks can get to their lunch a little earlier if you haven't already eaten.
Well, thank you. And I always said, Anna, you need a your own like podcast with your music and everything. It's very cool. So you're
Go check out Momento Pascual.
yes, play some music. You have people hanging out for a while.
Dance in our office chairs. All right, goodbye, everybody. If you have to go, ciao, ciao for now.
Hi, everyone.
Awesome. So to Anya's point about having those questions available for everyone to answer, I could set up a Google form, but is there a way to use the Menti?
There might be. So let me check in with Alan. We could set something up, and then when are you planning to send them out? So make sure you get them.
Sometimes I send the follow-up email the same. Oh, here, I'm gonna stop recording because we don't need this. This is boring logistics stuff.